Folks, I'll be sharing my techniques and this technology at these upcoming spaces. Sure hope to meet you there.
Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 23rd, and this is the Futures in 5. We're taking a look at the ES using a zigzag pattern, and zigzag patterns are good if you use them past. They help you see where areas of congestion and likely reversal events are going to sit when you combine them with the volume profile. So yesterday I had just the volume profile sitting up with some zigzag event, but if you notice this, it's going to reject in those same relative spaces. And of course, the width and power of the move of the zigzag is going to relate to that very interestingly and very effectively, actually. So what do we have to look at today? Well, we are losing some very big levels, and now we are coming into monthly support levels. We're trying to bounce off of them because remember, the market is generally bullish. And so when things start turning in this area, people look for value. Some of us look for value high up. Some of us wait for value to be very deep. And so it's going to be a combination of trying to work that out. This morning, this is the first bounce pass that we're going to see. But as I mentioned here, and it's going to be the same for all the charts that we look at, the bounces are only going to be into resistance. Could they be steep? Yes. It could be that people pile in very aggressively and then get caught. Could it be that we move really back up into the broken area between 51 and 46? Yes. But at this stage, all of our bounces are going to be into sell zones. If you'd like to try to pick a bottom, and that would be a falling knife in this particular case, you'd really want to see if you could get it as close to 27.14 with your stop really at about 3 to 4 points wide, because if it loses that area, it's going to have trouble. On top of that, this is a monthly pivot, monthly woodies, this region right here. All of this bouncing that's occurring right now tells me that the motion to the upside here is going to fade at the first pass. And if it begins to hold this edge, then you'll have yourself a bounce pattern. Do I think it's a bounce? Yes, I do. I do think it's a bounce zone. So if you want to trade that intraday bounce, great. Otherwise, just wait for the resistance edges to go short. Otherwise, you're going to expand your risk dramatically. All right, taking a look at the NQ, same sort of thing. Weakness showing this the 7036 area, holding the zone, giving us still higher lows in the space, trying to build some volume here, but it is mass congestion. So either we hold it or we don't. A lot of things fading this morning. Deeper congestion really looks like the potential target, but it still is sitting at a relative bounce zone. These are bounce areas in general. Below this 70, 79, 70, 80 area, we are going to see much more vulnerability to selling. So you really want to be very careful watching it there. If you see it, try to hold, try to hold, try to hold, and then you take the long late in the game, it's going to run against you. All right, so you want to be very, very careful. Bounce patterns certainly are nearby. However, the bounces could easily and should easily be into resistance. This is the one group you get a lower low, right? 24845, which is lower than this edge here. That's a very nasty patch. It's still going to try and bounce at around this 24,895 area, 896, as long as it stays below 25,000. 25,111, 25,176, it is still very vulnerable to selling. And that's why these bounce actions are more than likely going to give us more selling regions into the space. You want to try and catch this bottom, even if you caught it here, and we have a lower low, so I'm not saying that's a good idea. Even if you caught it here, you'd need, oh my gosh, 60, 70 ticks of a stop. I'm not really sure that that's good risk management. As a matter of fact, I know it isn't for the intraday trader for sure. So I would really wait on tighter time frames. Let the chart prove out that it's going to hold the edge before you try to pick a bottom. All right, taking a look at oil, also on the fade, but really trying to hold this edge, right? Building a bit more volume in this area. For those of you that are members, you know that we have a long triggered on this edge here, just so long as it can retest and hold the region. That's what we have to watch. If you try to pick a bottom, folks, and then hold for it after you keep making lower lows and lower highs, you're not really using mechanics the right way unless you are a scalper. That's a totally different kind of mechanic. And if you're a scalper, you get out after the chart's moved X many cents or whatever. But this is in a little bit of a bounce pattern. It's going to be vulnerable to selling below 68.53, so watch the struggle. API after the close today, EIA tomorrow. Take a look at gold. This is the one that we've talked about. Absolutely solid moves to the upside here, right, in the space. Let's shift this zigzag to 1.5 and see if it gives us any other rhythms. Yeah, still holding that edge really, really rapidly. Above this zone, we could have more buyers, but you can see how thin the volume is here, how big the volume is here. This continues to be the hold pattern. The breakout area is 1236. That's going to make a nice patch. The Woody's pivot, 1234. All pretty good areas to watch for the chart to hold another higher low. As I mentioned way back in the day, I do believe this chart has made its bottom for a while, and so we'll just see how things hold up. This is the region, though, that it's just moved through, and there's a lot of room for this chart to run. That being said, it is sitting on an edge where it ought to come back and test the breakout levels before moving forward. All right, that concludes your futures in 5.